Hi everybody, this is Monica from Huckleberry Mountain Botanicals School of Herbalism, and I'm here with Lindy, my daughter. We're going to do something a little bit different today because tomorrow I have a, what is it?
Presentation.
Yes, a presentation on forest edibles. Hi Sean. And to get ready for anything that I do when we're talking about edibles or trying to encourage people to wildcraft or forage, I always bring lots of samples. I bring samples because I think that's more inspiring. Yeah.
Interactive.
Yeah, and people can actually, taste it and maybe feel like, oh, yeah, this isn't so bad. Because a lot of times when you introduce wild food to people that haven't had wild food before, they think it's not going to taste very good because they're used to that cultivated, farmed food that they can access at the grocery store. And going out and foraging is a little bit more work. So in order to motivate people to do that little extra bit of work and get out there, I like to bring lots of samples. So I'm not making all of the samples I'm bringing tomorrow because I'm bringing quite a few different things. Some pesto made of dandelion and nettle. I'm bringing some nettle chips. We're bringing dandelion root coffee. I know. Elderberry syrup, rosehip jam, and dandelion flour shortbread. And I'm going to bring some edible, tasty little leaves and flowers so that we can sort of throw together a wild salad. I don't know what we're going to call it, but we won't be making that today. Today, Lindy is the shortbread maker of our home. Hi, Rhonda. So she's going to make her typical shortbread cookies. This is going to be interesting because we've actually, hi Lorinda, I have something. I just went out wildcrafting, and so I have stuff in my hair and all that. But we're just going to throw in some dandelion petals that we just pulled out this morning and make them into dandelion and a little bit of lemon. We have some lemon zest in there, shortbread cookies. I just think, okay, I'm just going to talk about dandelion flower for a minute. I know that a lot of people think of it as sort of the bane of the lawn and they're trying to eradicate and destroy it. But it's the sunniest, happiest flower. It's the first, one of the first things that comes up in spring. It's one of the first flowers available for the pollinators and the bees and for them to get out and start getting some of their food, the stuff that they need to move them out of winter into spring. And it blesses us not only with all its nutrition and food, but its sunny disposition. We all like sunniness, right? And it is the sunny kind of brings the sunshine in. Hi, Kana. And bringing it into cookies brightens it up. Mm-hmm. It just brightens everything up when you have some yellow, bright dandelion. Calendula is the same way, that kind of bright, sunny disposition. I personally think it's like a spring upper without medication. It brings us that happiness. And lemon is the same way. It's that bright, tangy flavor. And so putting dandelion and lemon together in a cookie, to me, makes sense. So,
eat your wings.
Hi, Adrian. Okay, so we're going to start out with that. And right now, I actually have some pine needles that I've been infusing for about a half an hour at this point. And I'll be turning that into a syrup using some honey. So I'll just show you that really, really quick. And how to identify pine. My favorite to use in these is white, but you can use fir and you can use spruce. And almost every pine is perfectly fine. I usually stay away from ponderosa because it has some issues with especially pregnant women. But everything else is pretty safe. And then I will quickly show you an elderberry syrup, and I'm gonna finish my rosehip jam that I've been soaking all night. It is the easiest, and we call it jam. It is jam, it's just super, super, super easy. Like I say, everything is easy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, herbalism's easy.
Although you put like 5 different easy things together.
I know, so we may just have to stop before everything's done, but
We'll post a picture of it later.
Yeah.
If we can't.
Yeah. All right, so when can we get started?
I'm going to start with the shortbread. And if you've ever made shortbread before, it is literally the easiest thing to make on the planet. 350 for real. Yeah. I don't know. So I just have a cup of flour here. And I guess we'll probably, are we going to upload this to free herbal content?
Yeah.
Okay. So to make it even easier, I'm using a food processor. So I've got the flour, sugar, and what I'm going to do.
Oh, I was going to say how much, but I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I just mix that together, and then I add the butter, which is cubed and supposed to be cold.
Well, it's been sitting out for
It's
a
been
little while.
sitting out. So yeah, I just add it like that. And then usually you have to add a little more liquid as well with herb.
How much do you want?
A couple tablespoons, but I'm not going to put it all in. All right, so once you finish blending,
What does it look like?
it's supposed to look like,
Crumblies?
yeah, like, I don't know,
Yeah,
coarse meal. Is that what people
Yeah.
say? Yeah. So, like, crumbly, and you can't see it.
No, you still can't see it. The light
The
is too
lighting's
weird.
bad. Yeah, so it's like almost like sand, like slightly moist sand. Moist.
Moist. If anyone out there doesn't like the word moist, you might not want to watch this.
Yeah. Use gluten-free.
Flour blend? Probably.
You have to mess around with ratios.
The ratios of, yeah, because sometimes
It
that
can be a lot
little
drier.
Yeah.
Um,
And you could
Yeah.
you could easily substitute coconut oil for butter. You might have a little bit of a different texture because coconut oil tends
and the
to
flavor. I
melt.
mean,
Oh,
the
the flavor.
butter makes it so creamy and delicious and buttery and melty. And I mean, but coconut oil is fine.
Gee, can you tell what you like?
Okay, so now I'm gonna put my herb in.
No, I don't. I'm sorry. Put the water in a little bit.
Okay, well,
Normally she does put the herb in because we normally make lavender and
Yeah.
lemon, but I really don't want to.
I'm gonna start by putting like a teaspoon of water.
I just don't want to grind these in.
You don't want to grind them in?
I just want to stir because I think it'll ruin the integrity and it'll all turn yellow.
Okay, got it.
You're part of our experimentation here, people. Yeah.
All right, you can see it's beginning to come together, but it still needs just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit.
And then I
Tiny
think
bit.
when it's done, we're gonna go ahead and just blend in the lemon and
Just really quickly, like if you do want to do that, to keep things a little bit more whole, then you obviously wouldn't add them until the end. But I usually do lavender, so it's better if they're super, super small, so that you don't get a big chunk of lavender, which isn't very good, and it's equally infused. I also have done like hibiscus and rose, and all those times I have ground it as well, but it makes it such a pretty pink color.
Yeah.
All right, so basically we want to do it until it starts coming together as a dough, and then you can
Now we just
Right,
need
look.
to.
you can smash it together and it stays together like that, but it can't be too soft, so it's balanced. I probably
Is it
added
gonna
like
be
2
big enough?
teaspoons.
Okay.
You want to stir it in?
Yeah, I think we could just massage it. Massage it in. Massage into the moist dough. And I have a 1/4 cup of dandelion flour. When I did the dandelion flour, we did not include the greens at all. And it's just a little bit of zest, of lemon zest in here.
Because that will add bitterness.
Yeah, the greens will have bitterness. So
1 second, let me move this so you can see.
the easiest way I found to pull the flowers out is to take the green part. What's this called?
The receptacle.
The receptacle, sorry. And pinch it really hard, kind of around, and then you can actually easily grab the yellow petals right out, and it just pulls super, super simple out.
Yeah, and another thing about shortbread is you don't want to overwork it. So like I'm mixing everything in, but you don't want to do it too much because it'll get tough and it won't be as like
Crispy.
crispy and like melty and almost.
Well,
what's
it's
the
probably
word?
good. I don't know. Melty sounds good.
Melty, and it'll be tougher. So
You don't want that.
so that's about mixed in.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
And now, do we sit it in the fridge?
Yeah, you're technically supposed to let it sit in the fridge for about half an hour.
We're not going to do that, but we'll sit it in the fridge for a little while we now move on to the elderberry syrup, which, by the way, is, again, really easy. I'm going to make a quick one this morning, so I'm only using, let me see what my measurements are, 1/4 cup berries. I'm going to add a tablespoon of elderflower, but I'm going to do that after we're done simmering. To the berries, I'm adding cinnamon chips, and I made these Ceylon cinnamon. You have tot. Oh,
Maybe tot?
Tot?
Maybe tot.
Yeah. And some sliced fresh ginger. You can use dried ginger if you want. We just happen to have fresh here, so that's nice. And then the water, we're adding 6 ounces of water. So I'm just going to add that really, really quick. Where's my measuring? It's over here. Oh, right there. 6 ounces water, so that's 3/4 of a cup.
How long do you simmer this?
Well, unfortunately, it's going to be longer than I'd like, but I'm going to simmer it for probably half an hour. So you guys won't be here when we're done simmering, unfortunately. I was like, yeah, we both talk.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to put this on to simmer, and it's just, it's just going to pull it out, and I'm going to allow it to reduce slightly. I want it to get down to about 4 ounces of liquid, so I'm going to go ahead and put this on to simmer right now. All right. Okay, I'm going to let this cool. In the meantime, okay, so this is the first time I have made this version of this rose hip jam because it was a super simple overnight jam concoction. Okay, I can't remember exactly. I'll be putting the recipe out there, but there's literally 2 ingredients unless you want to add a little bit of lemon. I added the tiniest little bit of lemon zest that we had left from the cookies. This is rose hips and juice, and you bring it to a simmer and let it simmer for about 4 or 5 minutes. Turn it off, cover it, and let it sit overnight. And now it's soft and mushy, which means I needed the hand blender.
The hand blender. Okay.
Sorry, you know what, the thing is, I'm including you guys in my getting ready for tomorrow thing here, trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I don't know why people would do that, but and so you're with me in real time when I'm trying to just throw things together and make them. Rose hips are not the easiest thing to forage. They can be a bit tedious, especially if you end up with smaller rose hips. And some of them are a lot more hairy. I did get these dried from Mountain Rose Herbs because they're cut in half and all the hairs are taken out. You are welcome to do it, forage, go out and get it. And as a matter of fact, you can make tea out of it, which is very, very high in vitamin C. And you don't have to cut it or anything like that, so the hairs wouldn't bother you. I watched a video one time of a woman that was trying to show, how easy it is to do rose hips, and it took her hours. She had this video going, and then she's like, okay, well, I'll be back in a little while. And then she said an hour later, and she gets back on, she's like, well, I'm about a quarter of the way through. She had these tiny little rose hips, and she was de-seeding and pulling the hairs out. And then everyone's like, yeah, that didn't look easy at all. I don't know. I would have even posted. I would have been like, what? Yeah, it looked really tough. So, you want foraging to be fun, and so going out and picking the rose hips is great, and leaving them whole and using them in, I don't know, some sort of syrups or anything like that where you're not mashing them down would totally work, unless you're, Netflixing and you're going for marathon of some sort, and then you want to use that time to do rose hips. Great. All right, so we're going to try this here. I'm going to try not to spray Lindy or I. colored. I ended up using an organic pear juice that we had and these rose hips. So the color's a little bit different. It's certainly not a bright red. But it looks good. I need a spatula to get it off this thing.
Oh, I'm just ready to eat it.
Oh, you're gonna try it?
Yeah.
Lindy's got the bread and she's ready to go. So again, this was a super, super easy jam, and you could serve this on toast or crackers. You know what it would be really good on, because I tasted it earlier before I blended it, is with some cheese and maybe like a basil and a slice of a nice cheese, maybe even brie or goat cheese. Goat cheese would be good too. I think I'm going to add a little bit of lemon juice to it. Again, this is the way I cook. How is it?
Oh, it's good. I like it.
I'm going to add a little bit of tangy. Lindy apparently likes it, so all right. So that's a really, really super easy way to make rose hip jam. And I'm always telling people this: if you're going to invite friends over and you want to look like a rock star, make wild food. You know, tell people like, oh, this is rose hip jam. Oh, I just picked these flowers yesterday. Kana, you did that, right? Did you end up bringing your wild salad? I know it's going to take us minutes to hear, but your wild salad to, what was it? Some potluck that you were doing or something? I saw you saying that you were going to bring a wild salad somewhere. Okay, now what I would do with this jam is just put it in a small jar and just keep it in the fridge and let Lindy eat it over the next few days.
It's Lindy approved.
It's, you know, again, it's high in vitamin C, and then you're getting, you know, really good, healthy, tasty food. All right, so that was super simple. The dandelion flower shortbread, do you think it's cool enough to be able to work with? And then pretty soon, my pine infusion, I think, will be cool enough for us to be able to add the honey to it and make this easy syrup. I love making syrups, partly because children will eat them, but you can also add them to sparkling water or, again, mixed drinks, or you can serve them on food or put them into smoothies or whatever. It just makes a super simple food that most people like, and that's always great. I'm gonna go check on Huckleberry.
All right. So you don't want to, I mean, I guess you could make them whatever size you want, but let me show you how I do it. I just take like a spoon and I roll them into balls. And then let me show you what I do after that. What's the temperature? So a ball about this size, it's probably like, I don't know, a tablespoon. And then I take a fork and I smash it down until it's flat. And I go like that. So you can see, maybe. Can you see?
The lighting?
There, well, because it's not. Can't you see? Nope, you can't. It looks cool. Just trust me. And they're flat, and then they'll pretty much stay the same, pretty much the same shape as you do. So.
Yeah, and you could top that. As a matter of fact, I saw a photo earlier.
I've seen lots of shortbread recipes where they will put herb like on the top to laminate it onto it.
Okay.
But let me just make one that's smooth.
Okay. We're gonna try that. I've been gathering violas, and so we are going to press it on there. I'm gonna remove this little green part so it maybe will stay flatter without trying to ruin the flower.
Flatten this. And then you want to like push whatever herb you want to put in. And then it should.
It's going to be so pretty.
Really,
I hope it works out.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of excited for that.
Okay, I think we should do a few. And if they don't turn out, well,
I'll eat them.
yeah, people have to eat what I bring, so it doesn't matter.
And you know, the great thing about shortbread is, you know, you have the basic recipe, you know, the flour, sugar, butter, and a little bit of water. But you can add any flavor you want. Usually I do lavender, you can do lemon. I've seen a lot of people do rosemary, like rosemary lemon.
Mm-hmm.
You can make sweet, savory, anything that you want, really.
That one's a crazy one. It's beautiful. Love it. Oh, these are going to be so pretty. They can't. Can you guys see them?
They can see purple.
Love
Here,
it.
let me show you this one. There we go.
Yeah. They're so easy, and you can, like Lindy said, make them into whatever you want.
Any flavor you want.
I wonder if we should use using a bottom jar or something. I guess it doesn't matter. All right. Are you going to press that one in?
Yeah. These are so pretty. Are they just going to keep staring at me doing this?
Oh, I don't know. We're talking. All right. So let me see if this is cool enough, and then I can strain it. I'm going to stick the jam in here just so we can get this. It's a very jam-like texture. It's just a little bit odd color, I think.
Yeah, the color is not very appealing. Oh, you know what it tastes like? Is homemade fruit roll-ups. Like the kind.
Oh, totally.
Yes, the kind where you blend fruit and then dehydrate it and it's magically delicious, that kind.
Yeah, because it's not super sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But it does look a little bit like baby diarrhea, and they ate beets.
Yeah.
So the color isn't spectacular. I think maybe next time I might try to figure out how we can brighten the color a little bit. Nobody wants to eat baby diarrhea.
No.
But that would be perfect. You know those baby showers where they have those games?
Ew, where they eat chocolate out of the diaper.
Chocolate out of diaper? We could totally use rose hip jam.
Ooh. No, it would. You see, here's the thing. I think that aside from the psychological aspect of you're eating something brown out of a diaper, it's also really gross in that there's melted chocolate and it's possibly like seeping into the diaper itself, and then you're eating the chocolate after it's been sitting inside a diaper that's got chemicals in it.
Oh, I know. We could do cloth diaper.
Like,
Just saying.
just seems disturbing to me.
I'm struggling with how I'm going to strain this because I'm actually going to show you guys one of the easiest ways to strain anything. The problem with this method is that it's not going to get every single little bit of water out because there's not enough. I'm afraid this isn't going to go down far enough. There's just not enough liquid in there. So I'm going to use my other thing.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, you get to deal with this is me running around, and this is what I do. Okay, so all I need here is an infusion. And now I'm going to put the infusion with the pine. See if I can get the pine needles to come out. In here. Oh, it smells really good. This is so good for congestion, for any kind of chest congestion. And also is really high in vitamin C. I think it really tastes delicious. Some people don't like the taste of pine, but like I said, you can use other things. And one thing I've discovered is that different pines, not only whether it's a white pine or lodgepole, what's the other one? Yeah, ponderosa. They taste different, but also depending on where it's growing, it's going to taste different. So I've got my liquid here. It's cooled almost to room temperature, and I'm going to be adding a 1/4 cup honey. And this is what I'm going to tell you about doing this is if you get it in there and you feel like, oh, it needs more honey to be thicker or sweeter, go ahead and do it. You know, it's a very flexible.
And honey is antibacterial too.
Yeah, and honey is good for you as long as you're using raw and you're not cooking it, which is the reason why you're getting it to this kind of room temperature, so you're not doing it in super hot and ruining the honey. I'm gonna go ahead and use this measuring cup to stir this in. And just stir it up. And this will just have that pine flavor, which I think is a little bit citrusy. So even adding some lemon juice into this would be perfectly fine. It would be a nice blend with the pine. And like I said before, adding this to some sparkling water would be a nice refreshing drink, even in the summer. So, okay, and I'll be adding this recipe for the pine needle syrup to the free herbal content as well. I think probably what I'll do is do just one lesson that's in there and include all these different recipes within that, but I'm not sure. I might break it up. So just make sure to go in, sign up for my free herbal content at Huckleberry, Botanicals.com. You know, go to the herbal school and you can get access to that. Also, if you're watching this on somewhere else besides Huckleberry Mountain Botanicals Facebook page, go to my Facebook page and like it. I do lives twice a week, and we do all different types of things. They're not all the same. Today's is a little bit different because, like I said, I'm trying to get ready for a talk tomorrow. And then I also have my herb students coming on Saturday, so it's a little bit of a busy weekend for me. And so I was like, yeah, people are going to have to join me on live and just be part of what I'm doing here and preparing. All right, so we got our shortbread in the oven.
And I put it in at 350 for anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes.
10 to 15 minutes. Okay.
I tasted it. It's delicious.
And we got our rosehip jam. We have our pine syrup done. And the only thing I have left is the elderberry syrup. Unfortunately, that's going to have to simmer for another 20 minutes or so. After that's done, I'm going to add the elderflowers and let it sit for about 15 minutes so that they can infuse in there. And then I'll be adding the honey and some fresh squeezed lemon to kind of just boost its immune boosting, make it more immune boosting, to increase its immune boosting stuff. And also, you know, it makes it taste nice. So with the cinnamon and the ginger and the lemon and then the elderberries, which some of those were ones I wild crafted from last year. Some of them were ones that I bought because I go through a lot of elderberries every single year. So, but this is a good time to start looking out for elderflowers, which are also really, really good. So, okay, I think that's it. Mm-hmm. We will be sharing the recipes, and we're really glad that so many people joined us. I appreciate it. And I do like to hear feedback and get ideas, things that you guys are interested in learning so that I can do some videos for you specifically. So that is it, and I guess we will say goodbye, and until next time, help enjoy. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook.